Hello guys, and welcome to episode 41 of Dolphins Daily. And to jump right into it, the Dolphins organization have given head coach Darius Newman a 3-year extension for $5 million. The team and the organization was impressed in his second season, leading the Dolphins to the Divisional round playoffs, where they ultimately lost to the Los Angeles Chargers. Before we head into the offseason, we're going to look at the postseason results. In the conference playoffs, we had the Chargers taking on the Jaguars 38-21. And down in Philadelphia, the Eagles walked away with the victory 31-7. Both teams are in the Super Bowl now, and the Chargers have won the Super Bowl 30-24. It's no surprise that the Chargers have won the Super Bowl behind the arm of Philip Rivers and that stout Chargers defense. See, with this Super Bowl victory, it makes it the first championship in Los Angeles Chargers history. After moving just a couple years ago, this team have made their way into the championship game, and they ultimately took everything. Philip Rivers, 3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards, and played absolutely phenomenal. No interceptions, and played like he was the MVP of the league. Although the Dolphins lost to the Chargers, this season was still a success. The team had its up and downs during the season, but made the necessary adjustments and found themselves all the way in the divisional round of the playoffs. And hopefully next season, we can make it to the Super Bowl or even the conference championship game. With the Patriots on the decline and the rest of the AFC East staying stagnant, the Dolphins have a bright future ahead of them. Before we start to look too far down into the future, we have to start building upon this team in the offseason. And that starts with re-signing guys, letting guys go, and making moves in the free agency period. Our offseason plan is to keep this team together and add players who can contribute to this team and take us to the next level. To begin with, we're going to start with the re-signing period. Starting off, we have Devontae Parker. We offered him a contract, but ultimately he declined our offer, and he said he wanted to test free agency and see what his worth was. We didn't want to let Devontae Parker go, but the franchise tag was way too expensive for us, so ultimately we ended up letting him walk, and we're going to try and send him another offer during the free agency period. Devontae Parker was a key component to this young receiver group, and hopefully we can make a deal in the offseason. Next up, we have Laramie Tunsil. He also declined our offer, and this is another guy we needed to keep on the roster. We're also going to send him another offer in the offseason, and we're going to see how that goes through. Some players are testing free agency in hopes of a better contract from their original team. This could be a risky decision, as your original team may not even offer you a contract, and you may even sign up for less money. But we have our first signee of the day, re-signee of the day, Joe Dahl. Due to injuries on our O-line, Joe Dahl was signed and made major contributions to this offensive team. Next, we have Chase Allen, a reliable backup linebacker who will be sitting behind Raekwon McMillan. Chase Allen is a guy who's always going to produce and put up reliable numbers whenever you call up upon him. If McMillan were to go down, I have no issue putting this guy in the starting lineup. Next, we have Xavier Howard. We offered him a contract totaling $4 million, and he is one of our bench cornerbacks, but he declined our offer and said he would like to play for a new team. We have no issues parting with him here, and sometimes you have to do that in the best interest of the team. We also offered punter Matt Hawk a contract, and he ultimately declined our offer, so we'll be looking for a new punter in the offseason. Moving on to the free agency period, we're going to start off by signing a quarterback, as we let backup quarterback David Fields go, and we have signed backup quarterback now, Jeff Driscoll. We also signed Terrell Basham to help Earl Farrell whenever he needs a breather. He should have no issue finding playing time for this team, and he accepted our contract here. With 2 quarterbacks on the roster, the Dolphins look to sign another one, and that is Trayvon Boykin out of TCU. The Dolphins were really impressed with this guy in his preseason performance in Seattle, and he signs a contract with us. One of our major signings of this season is Kyle Van Noy, an outside linebacker, and he's going to be playing across from Brian Orakpo, who is coming off a torn patella tendon. Kevin Velasco, we offered him a contract as well, and he agreed to terms after Laramie Tunsil decided to test the free agent market. We're most likely going to try and find someone better at that position, but if nothing comes of better, we'll just have to stick with Velasco. We also signed defensive tackle Xavier Williams. Should be another backup defensive tackle to add to this Dolphins strong front seven. Here we offered Devontae Parker an offer, and he accepted our offer, so it's good to have him back on the team. Looking at some of the notable signings from around the league, Philip Rivers did not get an offer from the Chargers after winning the Super Bowl, and he takes his talents to the New Orleans Saints, while Sam Bradford is the quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers now. So it's going to be interesting how those two teams perform, and we're now going to move on to the player retirements. Clay Matthews of the Packers retired after 11 years, and we also had a couple Dolphins players retire. William Hayes and Ramon Foster retired, so we're going to need to fill those voids in the offseason or in the draft. Tom Brady, surprise retirement here. After playing 20 years in the league, he comes to the end in his NFL career. Richie Incognito, the former Miami Dolphin, has called it a quits as well. Moving on to the draft now, we didn't have a first round pick, so we're picking in the second round, and we looked to trade that pick. So we traded the pick to the Oakland Raiders for a third round and a fourth round this year. The trade offer was accepted, and so now we're going to start by drafting our players. To begin with, we drafted Caleb Grubbs in the third round, projected late fourth rounder, but this was a good pick looking at the draft analysis, and he is most likely going to fill the void of Ramon Foster retiring. In the next round, we drafted Malcolm Mines, 73 overall, and looking at the draft analysis, they said we reached there. His number will not be 99. We actually ended up changing that to 96, I believe. Moving on into the fourth round, we wanted to trade our pick again and try and get something better, so we ended up trading it to the Cincinnati Bengals for a fifth rounder, and our trade was accepted. But with two fourth round picks, we drafted RJ Groalt. He is going to be a backup defensive tackle, and we're going to see if we could make something out of him, try and get him into the high 70s overall. Next pick, we have Taquan Myers, 73 overall. This was a very good pick for the Miami Dolphins, and he will be a starter on our offensive line. A lot of the guys we scouted and prepared to draft for was not available when it came time to draft them, and unfortunately the Dolphins had to make many detours along the way. But looking at one of our last and final picks, we drafted Brian Saar, a punter. We needed to fill that void of Matt Hart not resigning with us, and so we picked up a punter. And with our last pick, we signed defensive tackle Deshaun Martin, 65 overall, and that is going to end out the draft for the Miami Dolphins. The players we drafted were pretty impressive, and I'm happy we drafted them. Although we didn't get the guys we scouted and prepared for, I'm still pleased with the guys we have right now on this roster. Taking a look at the offensive depth chart now, Ryan Tannehill will be the starter, and it's good to have Kenyon Drake back here. I won't be playing the preseason, and I have also turned off injuries for the preseason because I want to play with the roster 100% at the beginning of the regular season. Taking a look at the defensive depth chart now, and on a side note, we did sign cornerback Kendall Fuller to a huge contract, and he is going to be a major key to the Dolphins secondary. Our season goal for this year is to win another 10 games, and hopefully we can complete that. With the video coming to an end, you can take a look at our season schedule here. Week 1 is a home opener against the Oakland Raiders, and I'm going to have that video out as soon as possible, but I will see you guys later.